welcome to Colorado Weekend Adventures. I'm your host Arron, and today we're doing something free but yet fun for the whole family. We're here at the Hammond Candy Company here in Denver Rock, Colorado, and it looks kind of fun. They have old equipment here, and we're going to see how they make their famous candy.
Okay, wait a minute, please. Don't put too hard. Okay. You have to go. Okay. Stand up there. Welcome to Hammond's Candy Kitchen. Look how pretty that candy is on the candy bowl. That's where they add the flavor. The whole process for our candy canes and lollipops begins back there in those copper kettles. On the right hand side they cook corn syrup, sugar, and water for half an hour at 324 degrees. And when it's done, the cooks carry the kettles over to these cooling tables right down that aisle. They pour it onto the cooling table. That's where they also add color. I'll skip ahead real quick to this construction table where he's making candy canes with a chocolate filling down the center. So there's flavoring added to that big piece he's laying it on, but then it's going to have a little thin strip of chocolate down the middle of the candy cane. Doesn't that look yummy?
That sounds delicious, actually.
And you see he's already got the stripes laid out over there. And on that table there's a flame back there to keep it warm so the candy stays soft while we're working with it. So back to the cooling table. When it's on the cooling table, that's where they add the color for the candy cane stripes. And when it cools a little bit, they'll come along and cut it into sections. The colored part and the white part of the candy cane stripe doesn't need any color added. See, he's on that first table, he's already loosening it with scissors. He's going to cut it into sections. Sometimes they add back some crushed candy left over from a previous batch to be remelted back into the new batch. Then it comes over to the construction table, and that's what the cook is doing right here, is constructing the big bundle. And you can see it's a really physical job, having to pick up that candy and fold it and knead it and stretch it. And he's making sure that's closed up with that chocolate right down the middle. That's a heavy piece of candy right there. When he finishes with that, puts that big piece on the stripes, he'll close the stripes over, and that will weigh somewhere between 60 and 75 pounds. And out of that bundle, they can pull as many as 500 to 600 candy canes out of that bundle right there. If they're making the smaller lollipops, they can get 1,000 out of it. You can probably feel the heat from the kitchen. It's very warm back there. They have to keep it warm in order to keep the candy soft. Even though the cooks are wearing long sleeves, that's because they're carrying the candy around. It protects their skin. But it's warm in there, and the summer can be over 100 degrees. But that candy could set up within 30 seconds if it got too cool. So that's the reason for the flame on the back of the table. Now when he finishes that, he will carry it over to this piece of equipment right here. This is called a batch roller. Inside of there, if you want to step back and look up on the monitor, you'll see another view of that. Inside of there, there's a canvas sling where the candy lays next to a flame. It rolls around. He's almost finished with a batch right there. That started out as big as this one. But you see, he's pulled the candy canes and he rolls them, cuts them, and then his helper shapes it into a candy cane and sends it on down the conveyor belt. So he's just about finished with that bundle, but that's what's going to happen to this one when it's ready to go. So this goes on all day long. Each cook, probably 5 or 6 cooks in here at any given time, and they each do at least 5 batches a day, and they follow it all the way through from beginning to end. The cooks are in training for somewhere between 6 months and 2 years to learn all of our different kinds of hard candies. Not just these lollipops, but they learn to make our stir sticks and straws and hard candies and little peppermint pillows and ribbon candy. So once they master all of those things, they tend to stay here because there aren't too many places where you can go with the skills for making handcrafted candy. So you see on that cooling table back there, he's folding that over, making sure it's all melted. And then they will test it to see when it's ready to be handled, when it doesn't stick to their gloves anymore. Then they can carry it over to the table and begin to work with
Sophia,
it.
if you come over here, you can see him do it.
Look how huge that bundle is.
Whoa. Now he's taking it away.
So if you look up on the monitor, you can see he's putting it in there, so it'll start rolling around and be perfectly round. And then in a few minutes, he will begin to pull out the candy canes on that. And it's amazing, that big bundle, when he pulls it out, that little piece of chocolate will be right down the center of the candy cane. We're in the midst of a big sale. Normally we have a room where you can watch about a 10-minute video that gives you a history of Hammond's, tells you a little bit more about the company. So since we have that room full of sale items, we don't get to show the video. So I'll tell you a little bit about the company while you're watching activities back here in the kitchen. Hammond's has been in business since 1920 when Carl Hammond opened a shop in downtown Denver with a handful of helpers. In 95 years, it's grown to be a worldwide company. This kitchen right here that you're looking into on an average day creates between 3,000 and 4,000 pounds of candy. They use 2,500 pounds of sugar every day. In a year's time, we produce about 1 million pounds of candy and about 10 million candy canes. We make somewhere between 35 and 45 flavors of candy canes. Different times a year we feature certain flavors. In the fall, going into the holidays, some of the flavors we feature are caramel apple pie and eggnog and gingerbread and pumpkin spice. And then after the first of the year, we start in with the summer flavors, which are like bubble gum, cotton candy, grape, banana. Yeah. We also have a natural line of our candy canes. For some people who are allergic to the corn syrup in ours, we make the natural ones with tapioca syrup. And for those people who might be allergic to the red food dye that we color the stripes with, our natural line is colored with the juice from beets, red cabbage, paprika, anything of a natural color. That buzzer means another batch is done, so in a minute there will be a couple of cooks pouring out another fresh batch on a cooling table. Now that's very hot. There's coconut oil coating the table, and then underneath the table there's pipes running with cool water to cool the candy down. But they only cool it down to about 220 degrees, which is still quite hot. Much of this equipment back here in the kitchen is from the 1930s. When the current owners purchased Hammond's Candies, they bought the name and Carl Hammond's original recipes, which we still use. And most of this old equipment was Carl Hammond's equipment. Yes. He decided he didn't need more education, so he dropped out. And his mother said, well, that's fine, but you need to get a job. So he became an apprentice candy maker. And I guess he loved it because then he opened his own shop a couple years later. And he stayed in the candy business until he was an old man.
There's our mom. There's our mom.
Well, they kept it until about 1979. So his son and daughter-in-law and his 5 grandsons, I think, stayed in the business, but then in the late 70s, they decided to sell. But it's not owned by a big corporation somewhere. It's still owned locally. In fact, the owner has an office right here in the building, so it's kind of like a family business still. They wanted to keep it in Denver and keep it, you know, handcrafted, do everything. Yes, this is the only factory. Yes.
Wow.
We have a big shipping department down the hallway. We even make our own bubble wrap because we do so much shipping. And we ship all over the country, as well as Canada, Mexico, England, Spain, Russia, South Korea, New Zealand, Japan. Our candies go everywhere. Okay, he's got some candy over on the candy floor. And notice how the color gets real shiny and pretty. The smaller pieces don't stay on too long.
He'll keep stretching it out, I think.
And then the big piece, like you saw on that previous bundle, when they put that on the candy puller, that's where they add the flavor.
Does that, like, stretch it out and take
It
care of
stretches it and pulls air into it. It helps give it that satiny sheen. Okay, watch this piece he just put on here.
He's going to stretch the
See how very soft that candy still is. Pulls out sort of like stretching out bubble gum. Now he's going to cut off that piece at the end, and that will become recycled candy that we save and crush it down and put it into a fresh batch, remelt it, and reuse it. So we try to have very little waste. That's something Carl Hammond started doing back during the Depression when the price of sugar was high and quantities of things were scarce, and he created that way to have very little waste. We try to use everything. See how pretty those stripes are going around now, and he's going to shape it. I think he's checking to make sure the chocolate's right in the center. He wants it to be just right. Looks like a giant snake, doesn't it? Yeah.
Making candy is a perfectionist job.
Yes. And in this factory, you will not find any robots. You won't see a lot of machines stamping out the candy. It's done by people. Even our handmade chocolates are all formed by hand. That's why when you buy our handmade chocolates, they're not all the same size and shape, and they don't all weigh the same. We sell our chocolates by the pound, but some pieces are bigger than others. But that's the nature of handcrafted candy. So you can see he's trying to get it perfect. I guess he's decided it's there now. So she's weighing it to make sure that it's 2 ounces because that's what our candy canes weigh. If they're under that, they'll end up being recycled candy. So they put it on the conveyor belt. It goes into the next room, which is much cooler. It's already set up by the time it gets to the end of the conveyor belt, and it's inspected, wrapped, labeled, sealed. All the candy that goes out of this kitchen right here is gluten-free, and it also goes through a metal detector so they can check for any traces of the copper pot that might end up in the candy.
all that candy goes through a metal detector. It goes through a metal detector in case any of the machine parts.
That's pretty cool.
Wouldn't you just like to have some of those pieces you set aside?
Yeah.
I wouldn't care if they weren't perfect. Well, when we moved down to the hallway, right here is the chocolate department. They're not making chocolates right this minute. This is where they handshake them. They go down the conveyor belt, they go over a little bridge which is under that cover. It coats the bottom of the candy with chocolate, and then down there at the curtain,
You can watch
there's
them
a chocolate
puddle.
waterfall that coats the candy. If you come back sometime and watch the video, you'll get to see all of that. And I believe you can watch those videos of how our candy's made on our website, hammondscandies.com. So as we move down, ribbon candy, but we make ribbon candy with a little old-fashioned hand crank crimper that was made in 1880. And that's still how we make our ribbon candy. And we make it year-round, not just for Christmas. We have flavors like cotton candy and peanut butter. And they're wrapped in cellophane and sealed and labeled and boxed up either for the warehouse or to bring over to the store if we need some freshly made candy. We're already so we have to start live. I'm going to see if I can find where the oh, there they're making it. Look up on the monitor. That's marshmallow. And tables at the back of this room, and it's 40 feet long as the school bus. And when they make the marshmallow, they pour it out and they spread it from one end of the table. You can see they got one side done. They're working on the next one. That's all marshmallow. So when that cools, then they will cut it into 12-inch by 2-inch bars, and they hand dip it in freshly made caramel. Then that sits overnight, and then they cut it into the bite-sized pieces, which is individually wrapped and hand labeled.
We're not for slaughtering. Everything you're saying.
We're all hungry.
Looking at it, right?
I know.
Be hungry. Get through here. I think they're doing some remodeling. I don't think I can show you, but on the other side of this wall, 2 of our new apartments, they're still getting them up and going. We make flavored popcorn here now. We've got mango habanero and chocolate and cinnamon toast, green apple caramel, all these different popcorns. We also make cotton candy here now too. You'll find bags of cotton candy in the store. So we've got something for everybody. It's not just candy canes anymore.
So honestly, you can't leave the tour without getting some candy. I actually spent a little bit more over budget, but that's okay. They are right now from the end of June is running a garage sale, so come in. I'll show you on a haul video what we're doing, but everyone sticks their sticker, but I'm gonna keep mine on that. That is so cute, the little thing, and I'm gonna break my pinky. That is way cute. Let's just trip over everything. How about that? Well, I hope you enjoyed this delicious adventure with me. I am actually heading out to do some more stuff today, but this is free. You really don't have to, and they do give you a great sample at the end. So this is way, way cool. So join me next time for my next adventure. So thank you for watching Colorado Weekend Adventures. Check out last year's adventures. I know we're on year 2, even though I didn't do one every weekend, but check out last year's adventures. They were kind of fun. This year we're definitely going to change it up and do something different. So thank you for watching. Keep adventuring.